Hello YouTube and welcome to Prime Productions. I'm here to help enhance your tabletop gaming experience. If you're new to this channel, I primarily focus on Paizo tabletop role-playing games like Pathfinder and Starfinder. And if you want to help me out, I have a Patreon and Discord, more info at the end of the video. So it's that time again. Every month, Paizo puts out a live stream called Paizo Live. Here they talk about their upcoming projects, hyping new things coming down the pipelines, and just generally talking about Paizo stuff. You can find these videos over on Twitch, link in the description below, but I like to do a brief summary of them here for those who don't want to sit through a 1.5 hour live stream on Twitch with a bunch of advertisements, so here we go. Now listen, before we get into it, writing and editing scripts and doing video editing, it all takes time. If I want to get these summaries out in a timely manner, this is going to have to be an unscripted video without a whole lot of interesting things to look at. I'm sorry. This will just be a quickie video where I may have a few ums or uhs or I may misspeak, and to reiterate, link to the full official video will be in the description below. So there's not a lot to talk about with this Paizo Live, mostly because they are covering Alien Core, Monster Core 2, and Draconic Codex. I've already done an overview of Alien Core, and my cover of Monster Core 2 should be coming out fairly soon. But there are some interesting tidbits to go over, so there will be some stuff to talk about. Anyway, after the initial banter that starts every Paizo Live, they got into it. Actually, during the initial banter, they did talk about some interesting stuff. The video game Starfinder Afterlight is funded. The Kickstarter is now over, but the stretch goals for it unlocked a bunch of new stuff, including full voice acting. Remember, this is a small studio making this game, so full voice acting for things like background NPCs was not guaranteed, but it is happening because of the funding. Also, both Technomancer and Mechanic classes got funded. Remember, this game will be coming out after Starfinder Tech Core comes out, so those classes will be out by the time that the video game comes out. Also, there's now a Kickstarter for Starfinder dresses if any of you are interested in that, and those dresses even have pockets, which apparently is ridiculously uncommon. Also, there's this cute pin design as part of the Kickstarter, which looks amazing. Anyway, let's get on to the first section, Starfinder Alien Core. Now remember, Alien Core is compatible with Pathfinder 2nd Edition if you want to port some monsters from Starfinder to Pathfinder like these robots. The co-host of this section was Mike Kimmel, lead designer for Alien Core, and they played a little game at the start where they asked chat to guess what Starfinder alien this silhouette was, kind of like Name That Pokemon. They highlighted a bunch of aliens from Starfinder 1 that have been revamped for Starfinder 2, like the Garagukul. I still have nightmares about this thing from fighting it in Starfinder 1st Edition's first adventure path. There's these cosmic time cops that I didn't mention in my overview. They are psychopomps that deal with people that try to use time magic to cheat death. There's also this Oma, which is a space whale the size of a starship. There are no starship stats for them yet, but you could do a cinematic starship combat with them. One thing I didn't mention in my overview are creature adjustments. These are ways to modify any creature to be something else, like how to make a normally non-sentient creature sentient, or how to make a creature a hard light hologram of that creature. They also talked about many other creatures as well that I also didn't cover, like a war machine remotely piloted by Cthulhian nightmare monsters, also a monster that, upon death, vaporizes everything within like a 30-mile radius. The second segment was about Monster Core 2, and there's again not much to talk about because my Monster Core 2 overview will be coming out shortly. But they played the same game as they did with Alien Core, where they tried to guess the name of a monster from its silhouette. A bunch of new monsters were introduced, and also a bunch of monsters from Pathfinder 1 are getting remade into Pathfinder 2, like the Living Topiary. They did say that with both Monster Cores 1 and 2, there are a lot of options for summonable monsters at every spell rank, so now you have a lot of summon options. There's also new high-level elemental monsters, because those were evidently missing. And there's new options for a worm that walks like monster that doesn't have to be a spellcaster. For example, this is an image of a worm that walks like monster that is a barbarian. The third section was about the Draconic Codex. This is a book coming out in December that's all about dragons. Side note, this is just a personal thing, they didn't address this. Just treat dragons as one level higher than their listed creature level in the book, and the math works out way better. I know Ronald the Rules Lawyer did a whole thing about how dragons are more powerful than they should be for their level, so just treat them as one level higher and the math works out a lot better. There is a new trailer that hints at all of the new stuff coming out in the Draconic Codex, including new character options like some kind of dragon slayer. They said that the physical copies of this book will have fold-out diagrams of in-universe dragon sketches, and there will be new dragons in the book like the Barrage Dragon, which has apparently anime mecha levels of chest beams. Also, new info about existing dragons too. Like I said, there will be new player options like Draconic Sorcerer bloodlines that will be updated for all of the new dragons, and possibly a new dragon player ancestry called a Dragonette. These are tiny little dragons, probably small or medium-sized, but if you want to play a dragon, it sounds like that may be possible. Look for the Paizo blog in the coming days. They said that there will be a blog about these Dragonettes shortly. They also named a new Executor Dragon, which is based on like a medieval stylized dragon, so that's pretty cool. And there's also an unnamed dragon that they nicknamed the Dragon with a Hat and Wheels on its Head. They also might be making a new age category for dragons called Archdragons, which may be more powerful than Ancient Dragons. They did say that Archdragons in the playtest were even too powerful for dragons, so they had to nerf them, so be careful. Next up was a Q&A section. Not much to talk about here. There were a lot of silly questions that were asked, like, is a hardlight hologram of a frog's tongue sticky? They did say that there are no current plans for making a level 25 monster. There were a few early Pathfinder 2e level 25 monsters, but the system tends to break down at party level +5 monsters. A level 20 party might be able to beat a level 25 monster if they have specific stuff to beat that monster, but it's not something you want to do on the daily basis. They did say that Vorpal dragons are a new dragon that will appear in the Draconic Codex. There's a blog post about it. Young Vorpal dragons can actually slice off your head, but it doesn't immediately kill you because of weird dragon magic, so you can actually pick up your head and put it back on your body. I don't know what to say to that. Also, the Draconic Codex will have some information about Lenorums and Fey dragons, which are Jabberwockies. Anyway, that's really all I had to say for today. Hey, as a reminder, I have a Patreon. I'm going to try and post something fun there once a month, but honestly, it's just a way to help keep this channel financially viable. For less than the cost of a cup of coffee a month, you can help me buy new equipment like microphones and such, and I could really use the help. And of course, I have a Discord channel if you want to talk. And of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That tells not only me, but also YouTube that you like this kind of content and would like to see more. And until next time, thank you, good luck, and happy gaming!